Spoiler: One Piece 1008, Oden is fake. Orochi is alive. Kaido's hybrid form, the battle climax. Hello everyone, welcome back to Top Shounen. 2 weeks have passed and it feels like half a month. We are too impatient to wait for the next chapter of One Piece. There are so many things we are wondering, that need to be answered immediately and always, but author Oda still knows how to stimulate the reader's curiosity. By creating a Kozuki Oden at the end of chapter 1007, the meeting was so read that both Kinemon and the fans were amazed. And of course, after finishing listening, break 2 weeks, giving you the freedom to guess. Countless theories have been put forward, ranging from fiction like Oden's not dead, and time travel. Until the fox Animaru transforms into Oden, to encourage the red envelope. All have made the fandoms of One Piece stir. Somewhere in the JAV country, the person who created the controversy took a break for 2 weeks, and chuckled to his success. Until today, the author of Oda gave the answer. To me, this chapter 1008 is no different from a bomb. A series of super hot and super attractive information was revealed, even it made the details of Kozuki Oden overshadowed. Once the cranial progression continued, along with information regarding Orochi and Kanjuro. All are enough to create a very strong coverage, making One Piece chapter 1008 become the hottest topic this week. Theories about whether Orochi lived or died will be answered, of course, the truth about Oden in the previous chapter as well. To know specifically, please watch the whole video, and together take a look at the main news of this new chapter. Chapter 1008 has the title, The Leader of Mount Adamus Thief Gang, Ashura Daji. So after Hyogoro, the Kozuki clan gods begin to be honored by author Oda. In this format, each person will be shown in a separate chapter starting with Ashura Daji, the character who is always considered the strongest in the Red Star group. He solo all night with Oden was defeated, so Ashura is strong. There is no need to argue that the author Oda introduced him in chapter 921, titled Shunmaru. However, this is the pseudonym he used when hiding from the pursuit of Orochi and Kaido. Now, Oden's strongest god is on air, real name Ashura Daji. We'll wait and see who the second person will be. I personally predict Denjiro. Of the latest chapter 1008. Starting with a sequel to chapter 1007, Oden introduces that thanks to Lady Toki's power, I have come to this future to reunite with the red envelopes. This is a theory most fans look forward to. They hope Oden is real to help our side win. However, from the very beginning, I have sided with the opposition that Oden's travel, or rebirth, will lose the meaning of the will to inherit, of the monumental death that author Oda created. But Oden himself said he was sent to the future by Toki. Is that true or not? The red stars themselves were kicked by Oden with the plank, so they couldn't see him with their own eyes. So everyone is welcoming Oden back. In the previous chapter Kinemon was deeply moved to cry. He, Reizo, Kiku, and Kanjuro were sent to the future by Lady Toki, so they naturally believed in this miracle, and thought that before he died, Toki had done it. However, there was one person who did not believe and stormed Oden. It was Ashura Daji. He and Denjiro stayed behind to stop the pursuit, so knowing the situation better than the others, Ashura knew that Oden was truly dead. If you want to know whether it's true or fake, you just need to test the power of the person in front of you, because everyone knows how strong Kozuki Oden is. But he did not react in time to a man who had just returned from the dead. Oden was easily cut by Ashura, and strangely did not shed a single drop of blood. Maybe by this time, everyone realized the reason, because in chapter 974, Kinemon also cut Kanjuro but he didn't bleed, simply because it was just a painting. And this Kozuki Oden is also a drawing, manipulated from afar by him. It turns out that Kanjuro is not dead yet. So you have the answer, this is fake Oden, but not by Animaru, but drawn by Kanjuro. In the video saying that Oden died 100%, which I aired a week ago, the possibility of Oden being turned into Animaru is the highest, and the very low rate is that Kanjuro is alive and drawing. But author Oda really hacked the brain. The lower the probability is good, so in chapter 986 Kiku was unable to kill Kanjuro. And he was back in the castle, but the scene where Kaido beheaded Orochi took place before Kanjuro was defeated by a chapter. He doesn't know if the two sides turned around. But I think yes, Fukuro Kyujo's disappearance in chapter 991 would explain this. He met Kanjuro and recounted the whole incident in detail. That's why he helped Kinemon's group, and we also have a solution to the mysterious shadow in chapter 1004. It was none other than Lady Toki. Kanjuro drew her to treat the red scabbard. Toki's crying is also very normal, because Kanjuro's drawing when transforming also has emotions, can cry and laugh, like a dragon carrying a group on Zou Island. That's why Toki looked at the red blush in that state. It was normal to cry. It was Toki and not Hiyori. Since Kanjuro had never met Hiyori before, he knew Waran Komurasaki very well. Her true identity is only known to Denjiro, and adding Kawamatsu to Zoro is to meet the current Hiyori, making Kanjuro unable to draw the person he has not seen. And Hiyori after trying to save people, she has no crime to escape. She hasn't been on the island yet. Kanjuro's drawing is different, it disappears after a while, or when Kanjuro gives an order. And after healing, Kanjuro ordered Toki to disappear, and Kawamatsu saw Toki in a dream, so that could not happen, because Toki was already dead. After Toki disappeared, Kanjuro continued to draw Oden, so intelligent that he drew two different swords, because everyone knew that Enma was in Zoro's hand, and Aim no Habakiri was held by Hotetsu. Unfortunately, Ashuradaji was not deceived, he even felt offended when the deceased princess was faked by someone else. So Ashura used a bomb to destroy this fake drawing, but Kanjuro didn't mean anything, he probably just wanted to use Oden to encourage the red envelopes. Because, if you want to harm them, Kanjuro is able to kill them all, when they are dying, but does not create a picture of what they do to save their lives. But it is not necessarily a good idea that he saved people, for another equally important piece of information, that Orochi is still alive. So the myth of the mythical Zoan Yamata no Orochi is correct, this cowardly shogun is not beheaded nor dead, since he has 8 heads. Even when the Red Rose still has work to do, if he cannot kill Kaido, he must kill Orochi, avenge Oden. But if so, why did Kanjuro save them? I believe he knows Orochi is not dead, maybe they want to take advantage of the power of the red envelope, as well as the pirates, to help them destroy Kaido. Then when the war ended, both sides suffered the same casualties, then they stormed out to be a successful fisherman. The name Fukuro Kyujo is indeed looking for the real Orochi, now they will watch our sides fight with the beasts of ice, waiting for the right moment. However, there is also the possibility that Kanjuro would leave the night in the morning, sincerely wanting to stand side by side with the nymphs, but ashamed not to show himself, to secretly help them. If this hypothesis is correct, we will have 9 real red scabbards, as in Lady Toki's prophecy. Because of that prophecy for the 9 gods who fought with Oden 20 years ago, the 9 red scabbard was also the name that the people called the samurai of that year, Izo was not among these. For the prophecy to come true, we will also need Kanjuro, hope he leaves the darkness, turns on the lights. Continuing with Zichtsao group, now Jack the Drought has come, he rushed to attack them. In chapter 1006, Sanji and Jack are together on the 3rd floor, now Jack is here and Sanji can't see it, he is really looking for the real Momonosuke. But do not understand how much Sanji still wants to play comedy, author Oda let him out but just ran around, not getting any help. Momo had Yamato, and there was no enemy strong enough to intimidate her, because Jack had ignored the lewd for revenge. He is still bitter about the Zodig, so he is determined to kill with Reizo, Inu, and Nico. But Inuarashi stopped Jack, he was alone, to fight, letting the others find Momonosuke. So just how terrible the power of the samurai under Oden is, it is completely correct that Jack said Tobi Rappo could not worry. Having just gone through the worst of his life, he also weakened a bit due to the loss of his leg by Jack, yet Inu is confident to stay solo with an Okanban. I think he is weaker than Jack, but will hold him off, if Nico stay again, Jack will die, but solo, Inu will die. However, Kanjuro is watching from afar, I believe he will lend Inu a hand, it's not natural. Author Oda left Inu alone. Shifting the scene to Yamato's group, with the scene depicting some of Momonosuke's feelings. It seems that he is gradually mastering his powers, every time Momo is afraid he will turn a dragon, but now it's different. In Punk Hazard, for example, it transforms to carry Luffy in the air when it remembers Doflamingo's scary face, in chapter 922 when Kaido was on the way it also transformed. By chapter 955, when Mr. Hotetsu handed over the Aim no Habakiri, little Momo expressed anxiety, fear of not being able to master the sword, it also turned into a dragon. But now it transforms when angry with itself, in chapter 986, when facing Kaido, it doesn't even transform into a dragon, even though it was scared before hearing the name. Perhaps the royal blood of the Kozuki family began to awaken, allowing it to use the power of the artificial Uo no Mi fruit. Like the video before, I believe that Yamato will show Momonosuke how to use his powers. Finally, the most interesting detail of this chapter is more than the explanation of Oden. Transitions to the fight between Kaido and Big Mom, with the 5 supernovas on top of the skull. Of course, Kaido's animal form has been revealed, after 5 chapters we will see it. Although I know that the shape will be admired sooner or later on weekends, just hearing it made fans fidgety. A hybrid form that even Kozuki Oden had never seen, if the current Kaido was much stronger than 20 years ago, the new generation would have forced him to use his strongest form. Their strength is also proven by the fact that they are all still well, surely the last 5 chapters have taken place there is no such thing as both sides watching each other, or Kaido going catwalk for the children to admire, but must there is fighting. However, the supernovae had survived the first wave of the 2 emperors' attacks. Although the battle ahead is long, but they are still healed until now, a strong affirmation that the new generation is ready to step forward. Especially when the strongest person is Luffy runs out of haki, unable to fight. The 4 had to watch over Luffy, not to let Kaido or Big Mom fight him, and also had to protect themselves and fight back the 2 Yonko. It can be said that the supernovas are performing extremely well, why Kaido must use the strongest form, and invite Big Mom to work together. Of course, having just passed one wave of attack, couldn't be able to balance with two emperors at the same time, Law understood that. So he said, must find a way to separate the two. Kaido and Big Mom. Zoro agreed immediately. Even the brash young kid has to admit that if you let the two of you join together, it's no different than holding off death. Because Big Mom's moves are mainly ranged, very suitable for support, so strong, say support, but it is enough to kill Tobirappo, let alone Shinakai. Seeing Sasaki's expression after the Ui Quack attack had grazed his head was to know, at that time he would have cut it in half if he was a little lower. Big Mom is a long-range attacker, Kaido in hybrid form deserves to be a melee king, with both thorny armor and full damage, it is best to rush to the tanker. This combination of the two Yonko can win against Whitebeard, even though he is not sick, in the world no one can win against the two four royal brothers. So I was forced to separate Kaido from Big Mom, but when Law's plan was getting a response, there suddenly came a Gomo no sound. As the rubber brain guy spoke again, he said that he had faced death many times, this is a mosquito. After Lu decided to fight, which means that Luffy has recovered, author Oda did not want to draw the scene of the exhausted sun, so he ignored the skull top in 5 chapters, which corresponds to 10 minutes in the game. Luffy can fight, our side will be much stronger, but the plan Law was about to come up with was broken by the sound of the gouge. Ultimately, the other 4 youngsters will have to discuss with each other, whatever the rubber-brained guy does, he will ignore it. Luffy's goal is Kaido, where he will chase him, so Law just needs to think about who is most suitable to coordinate with Lu, and find a way to separate Big Mom from Kaido. But the two emperors with seasoned battle experience, it is not easy for the children to get their nose pierced. Let's wait and see how strategist Trafalgar Law does. The best information, of course there is still a story, no one can deny this quote, which is what you most want to hear at the end of the video error. The rest I will analyze in more detail, when the new chapter is officially released. Just now is the One Piece 1008 spoiler recap, hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to a channel to support Top Shounen. Goodbye and see you again.